Welcome back to the Golfer's Edge. I'm Debbie Doniger with my co-host, Ben Shear, and our guest for the afternoon, mid-morning.
Whatever it is.
Monday. For today, Iain Highfield. He's the Director of Mental Performance at Bishopsgate and IJGA Academy. And Iain, we are on to our next group of kids, the 9 to 12 group, which, we get a lot of kids in that group, an important group. I think one thing to understand that there are so many different levels to golf and stages to golf and preparing, for whatever dreams these kids may have. I've certainly had kids at this age come to me where they absolutely need to know and learn all aspects of the game, which I can go into a little bit, but let's start definitely with the mental side for you and what you see, especially, I think, a little bit with parents. One thing with parents in this group, I think they believe that the kids just need to hit tons and tons of balls. So,
and their kid's the next Jack Nicklaus.
or Tiger. So,
Whatever,
for me, it's really understanding and how to teach the parents, especially, and the kid for that matter, how to balance the training.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like one of the most, if not the most powerful influence on a student's development is the environments that they're placed in. And the parents have a huge impact on the student's environment. So we talked about making it fun in that youngest phase so that they can stay in the game, but also creating self-discovery. Now at this next phase, I think for a coach and for the parents, it's really, really important to start to help the student enable a growth mindset. And by growth mindset, we're talking more about starting to work towards mastery than develop an ego. So a lot of golfers, when you get to the next age category, they're very results focused. And if they win the tournament or if they shoot a score, that's how they're going to measure success. And that's not going to help. That's not going to get you a process-focused mindset. That's not a growth mindset. A growth mindset is you can take learning out of anything that's thrown your way. So I would really advise at this stage of development that characteristics like resilience are built. So it's not that praise is given to the student, not necessarily for their outcomes, not necessarily for the results, but for effort that they put into training. There's a great video online. I don't know if you guys have seen it, the marshmallow test, and it's students of around this age group, maybe a bit younger, and a marshmallow is put in front of them, and they're told if they do not eat this marshmallow for 15 minutes, then they'll get 2. Well, you should see some of these kids. Some of these kids are sat there, they're like shaking, they don't know what to do. One girl opens the marshmallow, eats the inside, and kind of folds it back up to try and get away with it. So what these kids are being tested for is, can they put off instant gratification? Or do they want to have that instant gratification straight away? Do they want to eat the marshmallow straight away? Now, the clever thing about this experiment is they interviewed the same students again when they were in college. And the ones that were most successful were the ones that didn't eat the marshmallow, that managed to hold off on instant gratification and wait 15 minutes.
So you can't have your marshmallow eaten.
The environment that we create is very important. How we speak to the students, how coaches speak to the students, how parents speak to the students, what we praise really has a direct knock-on effect in the next age group. Because if the students start to build the habits of thinking that results matter, thinking that result is a direct reflection of learning, and gaining gratification through scores, through results, which ultimately they can't control, then that sets up a problem. That doesn't set up a growth mindset, that sets up a fixed mindset. So at this age group, I would really praise effort, praise resilience, really praise what they're doing in training, praise focus in training rather than the actual outcomes of what the student is gaining.
I was listening to Gary Gilchrist one of these nights, and he's got a successful junior academy. He's taught kids forever. And one thing that he brought up, which logically I already know, but he verbalized it, he just said that there are so many more quote-unquote champions at such a younger age, especially in golf now, that to what you're saying is, they sort of focus on, I'm going to turn pro, I'm going to make money, I'm going to do all these things, and they lose that focus or that whole mindset to just simply improve.
There's so much.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are in it for the long run. The average age of a European tour card, when you get your tour card through European Tour School, I think the average age is 28 or 29. Jason Day's 27, 28, and he had a life-changing event when he was around about 15. So you're in it for the long run. So really, when you're playing in Junior World and you shoot under par in Junior World, or you win Junior World, yeah, that's great and good for the student, but that doesn't guarantee anything. I think only 2 Junior World winners have gone on to win a major. So when you start getting praise for your results, when you start thinking that you're a champion at 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, it's actually just setting you up for failure. And I've been through this. I was a high-level rugby player at those ages, and, now I'm speaking to you guys about how to not allow students to go through the same model that I went through. So it's probably one of the reasons I do this job, but it's critical there for parents and coaches to really understand that it's about the journey, it's about the process, it's about developing a mastery mindset, not ego goals, not instant gratification of winning. That's irrelevant in the bigger picture.
All right, let's.
I have another question.
We go to your side of my side of the stage.
Yeah, but with Iain, what kind of mental strategies do you do with this group? And obviously we can keep it general because you may have kids of differing abilities, but to what you just said, what would be some strategies that maybe parents would look at that you do?
With regard to what we just spoke about, or
yeah.
with regard to more? Okay, yeah. I mean, for me, it's the language that I use. So I am always asking the student after they hit a bad shot, okay, what did you learn? Okay, well, what will you do on your next shot? Or what? So it's always questions. Why do you think that happened? It's not me going in and fixing it and giving instruction. It's open questioning and allowing them to see, okay, I didn't get the result I wanted for 9 holes, but I think I'm going to get better because I learned from the experience. And, I have a board at Bishopsgate that's called Magic Moments, and I'll always write up on the board, okay, congratulations to this student for setting this score in their process goals. Congratulations for this student for putting effort in on acceptance. Congratulations to this group for working as a team and doing ABC. I will use social media in the same way. I will praise students' effort in training. If they win, and I'm going to post a picture of them winning, I'm not going to say congratulations on the win. I'm going to say congratulations on the effort that you put in training that's allowed this to happen. You developed a process focus, etc., etc. I saw Ben put one up the other day, actually, that was about a girl and what a great person she was becoming and what a personality she was. I can't remember the quote directly, but these students, their environment is so impacted by what we say and what we do. So for me, like Ben said, the research is out there. You can read Carol Dweck's stuff, and it's all about praising effort and all about helping these students gain resilience.
Yeah, so I actually wrote, she's not only a great player, but an even better kid. Hard work and dedication do pay off. We're all very proud of you.
And that's extremely important. Because they believe what we say. At the age that they're at, in some instances, you're going to be a role model for some of these students, and what we say and how we interact with them is so important. So I'm pretty sure the days of going in and fixing something, or the days of going in and making like an instant change that's going to have success are gone. And coaches are now understanding that we ask open questions so the students can really reinforce the learnings. And we should also, if the students really want to retain their skills, we should always focus on the positives. You know, as humans, we're negatively wired. We're wired that way to avoid us driving our cars through red lights, to make us look when we cross roads. So it's very easy in golf when a junior hits a bad shot that weighs on their mind. So going in and asking them, what's the positives about that? Or can you remember a time when that didn't happen? Can you remember a time when you did this well? And really just getting them being the ones talking about their golf, talking about the experiences, and trying to get them to recall the positives and purge the failures is vital at that age.
Okay, so on the fitness side, Mr. Shear.
Yeah, so obviously 9 to 12, you know, what's interesting about the 9 to 12-year-old group is most of these kids now have spent some time being involved with other sports, whether it be soccer or whatever else that they're doing. You know, so hopefully if they've been doing what we talked about through the 5 through 8 group, they've spent some time doing some other biomotor development, and that could have been through structured things like I discussed, or that could be the kid, you know, hopefully plays some golf, plays some tennis or in baseball and soccer and does all of these things, and hopefully in their gym class, which unfortunately maybe they don't, but hopefully in their gym class, they're getting into developing some of these things. So we should have some foundation of motor skill, biomotor skill as we get into this 9 to 12 years old. And, you know, the 9 to 12-year-old age group is really, if you look again, long-term athletic development, is really a focus time on skill development. And that these kids really should be focusing on a lot of their technical skill work. Doesn't mean it shouldn't be fun, it doesn't mean anything, but there should be a lot of skill development. But movement, in my world, speed, agility, power, those are skills. Right? I too often people think that strength and power and all of those things, they don't translate to skill, right? So if I take the same person and I make them more powerful, they will appear to be more skillful, right? I mean, when Jay Day hits a drive 320 down the middle, and then somebody else hits the same drive 275 down the middle, that doesn't make him more skilled, but he appears to be more skilled. You know, I tell people in basketball, if you look at other sports, if I taught you to jump higher and run faster, and you had the same technical ability to rebound the basketball or play defense or anything like that, but you now just jumped higher and moved your feet faster, you would appear to be a technically better defender in basketball in that example. But you really didn't improve your technical skill at all, but people watching from the outside would say, oh, you've gotten better, when maybe all you've done is gotten physically better, right? So movement, quality of movement is a skill. So teaching people good running mechanics, jumping mechanics, rotary mechanics in golf, swinging, moving, rotating, how to shift weight, balance, all of those things, those aren't necessarily strength or stability things. They're skills, movement skills, that are imperative to developing overall athleticism. So I think this is an important time for these kids to learn coordination drills, to learn movement type drills. Doesn't mean we shouldn't do some core stability and stuff like that. Sure, we should, right? We need to maintain some of that. They need to start creating some body strength. You know, can you kind of hold yourself on a bar? Can you do some push-ups? Can you do some bodyweight lunges? That kind of stuff. You can do simple, easy stuff. But from my side of it, I want to teach movement skill that hopefully will then translate to the course in what you do.
Right. So for me, it's kind of the same thing. So it's really understanding what do the proper impact alignments look like. Can you chip, pitch, half basic swings, 3/4 swings? To your point, body drills. What should your body feel like loading, the back leg, shifting, rotating through, getting to a proper finish? Where should you feel the weight in your feet? How do your arms and hands swing in a golf swing? How does the club head move? And then you can get a little more detailed with, again, center contact, moving the ball left to right, right to left, fun things like that. If you believe in a pre-shot routine, I'll start to incorporate that into actually the lessons as the kids get a little bit older, so they understand how to pick out a target and visualize or breathe, or however, I'm working with that kid, whatever that kid is, student dependent, but I will incorporate that sort of into the lessons as they get older, so it becomes part of them as we get into that next age group.
Yeah, and I think the next age group, we get into this kind of 13 to 15, is where we really start separating who loves the game and is going to really stick with it and kind of do that next level of work.
By the way, to your point, on my side, speed is huge right now in this age group. So I definitely do some speed work golf-wise. But
if they miss that speed window in that 5 to 8 group,
it's very tough as we get into this age group for me as a teacher.
Correct, because they're kind of in an age where they're not going to develop as much speed at this group. Doesn't mean it's not worth doing it and put some effort into it. But at the same time, kind of that first speed group window, they call it, this first speed window is in that 5, 6, 7-year-old age group. And then in our next group that we get to, we're going to reopen up a new speed window as we kind of hit puberty. So before we get to that, which is obviously where everybody's body goes bananas and mind and thinking and everything goes crazy, let's take our next break and then we'll kind of dig back into that. We'll be right back. Sirius 208 XM 92.
Over the last 50 days, Silver Rock Funding has matched businesses up with over $2 million in cash. Business owners, if you're ready to get yours, then you need to listen to this message. Silver Rock Funding can get existing businesses cash for expansion, renovation, equipment, payroll, and much more. With SilverRockFunding.com, you could get the money you need fast. There's no obligation or cost to apply. If you own an existing business and have been making at least $10,000 a month and need cash, then call Silver Rock Funding today at 800-688-9943. Plus, we could help improve your existing business loan. With SilverRockFunding.com, you could get between $5,000 and $500,000 fast. We can get you approved within 24 hours and funded within 72. That's right, funded within 72 hours. To get started, call 800-688-9943 right now. That's 800-688-9943. Again, 800-688-9943. SilverRockFunding.com. Get the cash you need fast.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-951-9523. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-951-9523. That's 1-800-951-9523. 1-800-951-9523. If you have termites invading your home, there's just one thing you want. You want them gone before they start causing thousands of dollars in damage. That's why you want to call Terminix, because Terminix is your most effective solution for termite protection. Call now and we'll give you a free termite inspection. 1-800-641-3253. Terminix is the nation's leading provider of termite and pest control services, backed by more than 85 years' experience. We'll stop those damaging invaders in their tracks. We can also defend your home against future invasions and the damage they may cause with our ultimate protection guarantee. If they come back, so will we. Defend your home now before termites start causing expensive damage with the effective choice in termite protection. It's your home, not theirs. Call Terminix today for a free termite inspection. 1-800-641-3253. That's 1-800-641-3253.
Ultimate protection guarantee not available on every plan. Limitations apply. Call for details.
Play where the pros play and book your next golf vacation with the PGA Tour's TPC network. Take advantage of incredible spring vacation offers at some of our most iconic courses, including TPC Sawgrass, TPC Louisiana, and TPC Scottsdale. Live the PGA Tour experience and walk the same fairways as the game's greatest players. Stay and play vacation packages are available now. Visit tpc.com/XM to learn more. Welcome to golf at the highest level. Welcome to TPC.
We've got More golf knowledge here than we know what to do with. SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. Sirius 208 and XM 92.
Welcome back to the Golfer's Edge. I'm Ben Shear here, and we only have 3 minutes for our last segment before we get to the top of the hour. So we just want to wrap up. We're kind of going to develop all the way through the age groups. Let's just wrap up our 5 to 8s and our 9 to 12. Iain, kind of just in a quick summary, give us your quick highlights there.
Okay, so for those two age groups, definitely make it fun. If it's not fun, they will not stay in the game, and that's the most important thing at that age. Challenge the students, so put them in game-like situations, like I said, with the relay races that will teach them to breathe, and they'll actively discover what they need to do in those situations, and then it gives the coach the chance to reinforce the learnings. And then we talked a lot about how the coaches and the parents should interact, and we really have to encourage a growth mindset at that age. So praising effort over outcome, praising attempts to get better in training every day, rather than the results that you derive would be my advice.
Awesome. Deb, how about you? Come on.
Rapid fire.
Go ahead.
Get with a teacher that's really actually very experienced. I didn't bring this up with junior golfers, and that has a really good resume and understands the golf swing and how to break it down from these early age groups going through, that there is a plan in the teacher's mind, basics, speed, and fun for sure.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's great, simple advice. And then from my side, on the physical side, like I talked about, when you're young, let's get after speed. It seems like a crazy thing that we're training speed and power at 5, 6, 7-year-olds, but we want to have kids run fast, jump far, throw hard, hit hard, do all of those things because we're training that nervous system to develop. We're getting their brain and their nervous system to develop at a very young age. Body awareness, understanding just kind of their space and body controls, and as well as our basic biomotor skills, hopping, skipping, jumping. That if you're lacking basic biomotor skills, it doesn't matter what athletic sport you're ultimately going to do, because some kids may be doing this now for golf and end up being a soccer player or something else later in life. So we want to be able to develop that kind of comprehensive motor skill set, and that's really, really important to do it. So when we come back at the top of the hour, please don't disappear on us. We're going to start getting into this kind of 13 to 15 age group, and then there's 16 and up. So if you have a junior who is in any of these groups trying to hopefully play in college and get ready to play at the next level, this is what the show is all about. Iain will continue with us on the show, and we will keep staying with our kind of all three of our pieces for each one of those age groups as we go forward. We'll be right back at the top of the hour. This is the Golfer's Edge, Sirius 208, XM 92.
Sorry. This is the SiriusXM Sports Update.
The streak was at 54, but no more. Golden State's record home winning streak came to an end last night. Celtics beat the Warriors 109-106. Steph Curry had 29 points, but missed what would have been a game-tying three-pointer in the final moments. Afterwards, he said they simply made too many mistakes.
Started the game trying to push the tempo with kick ahead passes, didn't convert them. Just off by a couple inches. Other than that, that's kind of set the tone. We were able to rectify it down the stretch, but if you give teams that many extra possessions, it's tough to win.
Elsewhere in the NBA, in overtime, Cavaliers edged the Hawks 110-108. LeBron James scored 29 with 16 rebounds and 9 assists. Mavericks got by the Pistons 98-89. Raptors 99, Grizzlies 95. Heat outscored the Kings 112-106. Hornets over the 76ers 191. Jazz 98, Timberwolves 85. Knicks stuffed the Nets 105-91. Wizards topped the Suns 106-99 and Bucks 113, Magic 110. NHL, Red Wings skated past the Wild 3-2. Bruins down the Blues 6-5. In overtime, Blackhawks 5, Jets 4, Capitals 4, Avalanche 2, and Canucks knocked off the Ducks 3-2. Blackhawks defenseman Duncan Keith was suspended 6 games by the league for dangerously and violently high-sticking Wild forward Charlie Coyle. Keith swung his stick and hit Coyle in the face during last Tuesday's game. Golf, Tiger Woods announced he will not play in the Masters as he continues to recover from back surgery in September and a follow-up procedure in October. Baseball, Diamondbacks center fielder A.J. Pollock fractured his right elbow during Friday's exhibition game. He'll need surgery, and there's no timetable for his return. I'm Bill Leckett.
If it's happening in sports, it's happening on SiriusXM.
Hear basketball talk with the passion you deserve on NBA Today with Justin Termini.
Would in the offseason we see love dealt for Melo? And I can see that happening because it's LeBron's win, and they're so close. And good for them for being that friendly. I have nobody I'm that close with. Heck, if I someday find a way to find a woman and get married, I'm not sure I'll be as close to her as LeBron and Carmelo are. But good for them. Whatever floats your banana boat.
NBA Today, weekdays starting at 4 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM NBA Radio, Sirius 207, XM 86.
Be honest. Will owning a bigger TV help you get ahead in life? Will another pair of shoes make you a better person? Probably not. But what if you could speak another language? If that appeals to you, Rosetta Stone is letting everyone who calls try an absolutely free demo of its powerful language learning software. Do you want more stuff or a language that will last a lifetime? For your free Rosetta Stone demo, call 1-800-918-8737. 1-800-918-8737. 1-800-918-8737.
Welcome to the Golfer's Edge with Ben Shear and Debbie Doniger. Here to get your body and golf game in shape using science, technology, and fitness. It's the Golfer's Edge on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio.
Welcome back to the Golfer's Edge. We're in hour 2 of our junior golf show. I am Debbie Doniger with my co-host Ben Shear, and we have Iain Highfield on the mental side discussing all these age groups of junior golf. We just went through the 5 to 8-year-olds, the 9 to 12-year-olds. If you want to listen to the show on demand, it's on your app.
It's on your new SiriusXM app. You can listen on demand if you miss any of those groups.
But it's really good information, and we had a bunch of people ask for more details, so that's exactly what we're doing. And now we are into the 13 to 15-year-old age group. Iain is Director of Mental Performance at the IJGA and Bishopsgate Academy, bgga.com. And so let's start with Iain. Iain, let's talk about the mental side for this age group and maybe some fun games that you work with these kids to
13 to 15.
Yeah, whatever you deem important in this age group, assuming I guess that their skill set is pretty much set by now.
Cool. So at this juncture, I mentioned previously how we're gonna sort of look at a student going through a journey from starting off with fun, then training becoming more intense, and then going through the guidance. So it's a generalization, but a lot of students around this age might be now making the choice, okay, if they've been trained correctly, they have the growth mindset, they enjoy the sport, now they're ready to probably go into that intense phase and not risk burning out, not risk having less fun, not risk quitting the game. So the skills here that would be vital would be how they practice. One, getting a student practicing effectively, getting a student in the environment that they're going to perform in. There is a big tendency at this age that, okay, I need to go to the range because I want to fix my swing. There are times for that, but a lot of students at this age, they get too heavily invested in that area. You know, really, if you want to perform to your best, you need to do it in the environment that you're going to have to perform in. So here I would really look at getting students practicing properly, challenging themselves on the golf course, and developing a process focus. So now we're really starting them to wire habitually what they do on the golf course and working towards that Jason Day-like, Jordan Spieth-like routine.
Okay, so what does that exactly entail? So let's get into the nuts and bolts of it. And if there are videos out there that you want to lead the listeners to, that's fine too. But let's start with practice. And then for sure, I think practicing on the course, if you want to give a few things that you work on with your kids, that would be great because that seems to be so tough for parents to get a handle on and kids for that matter. Yeah, so a student really needs to understand that if they want to change their swing and change a motor pattern, that's a lengthy process.
And it's not just about hitting balls. So if they're on the range, I would put them in what's called par practice. So they should plan, act, and reflect with every ball. So every ball they decide, okay, my plan is I'm going to do 3 slow motion movements. I'm going to gain feedback from looking in the mirror. Now I go and do that, and then I reflect on what I just did. And then they go through that again and again. And that will help them change their swing. Just putting balls down and hitting it randomly with swing thoughts over time isn't going to be the most effective way. So I would teach them how to separate their practice. So you have motor skill training. Okay, this is how you're going to change your swing. And then you have performance training. So now we're going to go on the golf course, and we're going to try and make it harder than golf. So one of the games I love, maybe my favorite game, and unfortunately it might not be accessible to everyone. We kind of spoil at Bishopsgate because of the amazing training facility with 11 holes that we can do what we want. But we put a number of students in a game where if they make par, they go forward a hole. If they make bogey, they go back a hole. If they make double, back 2. If they make birdie, they can skip a hole. But the catch is every second putt, they draw back 4 feet. And we give them a time limit of when they've got to finish 9 holes. So this is now actually a lot harder than tournament golf. And it teaches them to deal with adversity. It teaches them to deal with arousal and stress on the golf course. And they really begin to value their pre-shot and post-shot routines. So if one of their goals is to visualize, if one of their goals is to put in their breathing exercises, we're now challenging them to do this in an environment that they're going to have to perform in, but also putting constraints on them that make it even harder. So really now, that is intense training, and it's quite stressful. But if you've done a good job, as we talked about in the previous show, with the younger age groups, they should be wired in a way that they can deal with this.
So the pullback putt, if I've got a 10-footer and I leave it a foot short, you're saying pull it back 2 putter lengths away?
You would pull it back the length of your putter, so about 3 feet.
And then hopefully I make it. If I miss it, it's a bogey. I got to go back a hole.
You got to go back to the tee, yeah. And if you missed again, you would go back to the previous hole. So sometimes a story of one student, he was doing really well, and he'd run through. He'd been playing about an hour, and he's already on the 9th tee, because he's made a couple of birdies, skipped a couple of holes. He's playing his best golf. He gets a little outcome focused. He's going to set the record for this game, and he treble bogeys the 9th. So now he has to go all the way back to the 7th tee. Not only is that a major disappointment for him, but it's about 3/4 of a mile walk. So he now has to deal with that adversity. He has to work out himself, okay, what am I going to do? And he actually finished par. Now that gives him amazing experiences to call back upon in tournament play. You know, the next time he's in tournament play, if he makes a bogey, if he makes a double bogey, he's just equipped himself through the way he's trained to have an experience. Okay, that happened in this game in training. Okay, I dealt with it like this. Let's go again. So we're really trying to create memories to aid performance in tournament play.
That's good. What's the time limit on this game?
Well, we would change it depending on what the students do. Some students now, the ones that have played it quite a few times, they can get round in like an hour and a half. And you know, the first time kids played it, no one was successful in the first 2.5 hours. We say I think training's 3 hours. By the time we've got them all off, it's 2.5. So I mean, like I say, we're really fortunate to be able to play that at Bishopsgate. I know we might put a different constraint in, like if the student statistics say that they miss left, then if you miss a fairway to the left, then you get a 2-stroke penalty every time you do that. And they just start to learn to deal with their tendencies on the golf course. That's actually something that I've learned a lot from Stuart Morgan, who's the director of golf at IJGA. He looks at the kids' tendencies and statistics and then gives them constraint-led games on the golf course that really help them work against their weaknesses.
I like that.
That's awesome stuff. I mean, again, obviously, probably, I don't know how realistic for most listeners, but again, I think the more important part of what you're saying is to think about what you're saying, and there's probably ways that people can take some of those concepts and use them right where they are. It doesn't have to be
absolutely.
exact.
And again, sorry, Ben, again, it goes down to when students play in these games and they struggle and they don't quit and they deal with adversity, really praising that effort. Because in the end, it's that effort on a daily basis that is going to lead to good results. Good results always aren't a reflection of learning or doing the right things when you're a young child.
Yeah. So look, we got to grab a break here, but I love all the stuff that we're talking about because you're doing mental training without. It's games. These are things that kids are going to really enjoy doing. It's fun. They're not sitting there and, closing their eyes and meditating and doing
visualizing
that
the course.
Right. And
there is a place for the classroom-based stuff.
Right.
But a majority, they need to learn to apply it. They have to learn to apply it.
I like it.
And look, there's brain training and there's psychology, which are two very different things. And, this is not the time or the place for that. But I love what you're doing here. When we come back from break, Debbie and I are going to get in for our sides what this age group should be doing, and then we're going to move into even the older kids. So we'll be right back. This is Sirius 208 XM 92.
Are you being denied credit? Are you paying high interest rates? At creditrepair.com, we know life happens. Divorce, medical bills, student loans, and many other reasons why credit scores fall. That's why at creditrepair.com, we're committed to helping folks get the second chance they deserve to improve their credit.
CreditRepair.com is actually acting as an advocate for me. Things that I thought when you paid them off, they were still on there. Things that I didn't even know were on there, but they got them removed. I feel they're doing what they said they'd do and beyond. I'm not going to abuse this second chance that they gave me. I'm in the process now of buying a home. CreditRepair.com actually does work.
We can help you get a second chance at great credit. The consultation is free and includes a free credit score and summary credit report. We'll review your current credit situation right on the phone with a game plan to restore it. Call 800-511-2318. That's 800-511-2318. Again, 800-511-2318. 800-511-2318.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Neely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-971-5357. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-971-5357. Call 1-800-971-5357. 1-800-971-5357.
Over the last 50 days, Silver Rock Funding has matched businesses up with over $2 million in cash. Business owners, if you're ready to get yours, then you need to listen to this message. Silver Rock Funding can get existing businesses cash for expansion, renovation, equipment, payroll, and much more. With SilverRockFunding.com, you could get the money you need fast. There's no obligation or cost to apply. If you own an existing business and have been making at least $10,000 a month and need cash, then call Silver Rock Funding today at 800-688-9943. Plus, we could help improve your existing business loan. With SilverRockFunding.com, you could get between $5,000 and $500,000 fast. We can get you approved within 24 hours and funded within 72. That's right, funded within 72 hours. To get started, call 800-688-9943 right now. That's 800-688-9943. Again, 800-688-9943. SilverRockFunding.com. Get the cash you need fast.
You proved yourself in college, but do you have what it takes to make a name for yourself? The 2016 NFL Draft, and it's all right here. We go behind the scenes and inside the war rooms as the future of a franchise hangs in the balance. Hear that? That's destiny calling. Welcome to the family. The 2016 NFL
NFL Draft, starting April 28th on NFL Network.
Hey, Steve, this a gimme?
What?
I said, is this a gimme?
You're 180 from the green, Jim. Maybe 190.
I am, but is it a gimme?
No. With 500,000 tee times and deals you won't find anywhere else, everything feels like it should be a gimme. Thanks to teeoff.com by PGA Tour. Reserve your next tee time online at teeoff.com.
We take you live to the biggest events in golf. This is your destination for golf. SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, Sirius 208 and XM 92. We have a feeling that you're here for the golf. Well, here it is. SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, Sirius 208 and XM 92.
Ben Shear here with my co-host Debbie Doniger and our guest today, Iain Highfield, and we are talking junior development, mental, physical, technical, all wrapped in one. It's been great having Iain on. I think his perspective is absolutely amazing in what he's doing down at Bishopsgate and IJGA. And, people listening, like I said before we went to break, I'm sure some of the things that Iain's saying might not be totally practical, application-wise at your facility or with your kid, but the principles are, something that you can use anywhere. And, if you're creative, you can find ways. Definitely check out Iain's website on the YouTube with all the different drills he's got there.
Osvea TV, OSVEATV.com.
For sure. And, we're going to keep moving along here. So Debbie and I are going to get into what we think the 13, 15-year-olds need to be doing from our side before we move to the 16 and up. And then hopefully in the last segment, I know Debbie already's got a bunch of questions for Iain since he's our guest today. We're going to kind of hammer that out at the end. So how about you, Deb? So you got your 13 to 15-year-old kids now. What are you doing with them on course, practice, whatever?
So with this group, super important for me that their basics are pretty much solidified, that they have a pretty good swing DNA that's unique to them, and that we haven't compromised that, and that they own their swing, I should say, in the latter half of this group. That they, in terms of launch monitors, they know for course management and course details, they know how far they carry their clubs, that they understand because of the advent of launch monitors. I definitely think that kids at this age, if you keep it very simple, should have an understanding of a face-path relationship. They should understand certain numbers on launch monitors. If they are not technical kids, I'm not saying every single kid.
Are there non-technical kids these days?
There might be where it's like, you know what, you don't need to know. If you've got that total field player, and then yes, if you're an experienced teacher, then you wouldn't bring it up. But in general, that the launch conditions for the driver, just certain numbers that they should know in order for them to own their swing when they're out there.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's interesting, is the people who are anti-technology, whatever you want to call it, out there now. I think some adults do struggle with it because we weren't born with technology. We didn't grow up with technology, and our brains don't work that way. But it's amazing, like with my juniors, I could put TrackMan up on the screen, get them to understand basic face and path relationships. It's like a video game for them that they're actually playing in. And they can actually change those names just like getting good at a video game. Oh, you're too far from the inside or outside or whatever it is. They can look at those numbers and make those changes because they've all grown up living it. Us as adults, sometimes the technology makes your head want to explode. But kids are so intertwined into this in everything that they do. I think they actually do amazing with it. It's almost like a fun, you can actually make it a game with them.
For sure.
With the numbers.
I think their short game, to what you're saying, the combine testing with the 100 and in, I think their short game abilities have to be spot on if we're going to go play high-level junior tournaments. They have to have feel and touch. I think a lot of on-course management, a lot of on-course play with your teacher. Putting needs to be solid. Like, this is a time where, throughout the peaks and valleys of a tournament schedule, where if you need to work on something technically, you have the ability to, but this is where kids really can shine if you have an experienced teacher. Half swings, three-quarter swings, knowing, having a go-to swing, a plan B, when things start to fall apart. What does that swing look like? The pre-shot routine should be solidified if there is going to be one. And I would say, for the most part, generally speaking, that's what I would work on.
Okay, fair enough.
Was that detailed enough?
I don't know. I'm not the listener. But yeah, I mean, look, I think that all of that stuff's important, but I think the real message of what you're trying to say is that, this is when you got to start learning to play golf.
Yeah, shot making skills, fading, drawing, high, low, swing speed drills, 30%, 50%, then 70%. Being able...
Yeah, you're not just a kid anymore. It's not just fun. You're not just learning grip and postures.
There's an art,
basic stuff, and trying to figure out where the center of the face is. Like, hopefully some of that stuff is in place. And now you're learning like the game. Like, okay, now I got to go play golf, and that takes course management. It takes different types of shots. It needs to know what happened when I get under pressure, and I have to have feels and touches. And you start to play golf,
right? And it doesn't mean like at 13. That you're not refining certain technical aspects. This is also a time where you really, I believe, wholeheartedly to get with a teacher that can work within what you bring to the table. That, bringing your own swing DNA to the table is a good thing. That you don't necessarily have to be put into a method of a swing and break it down and completely tear it apart at this stage. So I think picking a proper teacher would be important, just like picking a doctor or tutor or
anything.
Yeah. Now, how about you?
Yeah. So from my side, this is a really interesting time. We've kind of been doing this all based on chronological age as we've gone through this process today, and the reality is, it's truly more of a developmental age that matters than a chronological age. And obviously, it's easy to use chronological age because people can kind of know where their kids. Well, my kid's 12, my kid's 8, my kid's 15, whatever it is, and we understand that. But at this age, when you're starting into 13 and 15, this is the time kids are starting to go through puberty, and certain kids hit it early and are physically super mature and very different, and other kids are really late. And we see big differences in their bodies changing. Obviously, hormone levels are changing. Personalities even are changing. There's a lot going on with kids during this phase. And it's really important to understand kind of, is your kid a young or is your kid on the older side kind of developmentally? And not to get overly caught up in kind of results and thought processes here, because when kids go through growth spurts, stuff goes bananas, right? They can lose their golf swing. They can lose coordination. They can have joint aches and pains. We call them growing pains. They call it that for a reason. So a lot of stuff is going on, and their bodies are changing fast. They don't really understand it. So, my big thing for these kids, again, what's crazy is it's also the opportunity for speed again, right? We kind of had speed at that young age, that 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. We talked about skill and movement qualities and all that kind of stuff. But when we start getting into this age, when we go through puberty and our nervous systems, and we're kind of going from child to adult, for lack of a better way of saying it, we're prepared to get our second speed window. So we really can't get over caught up. We're going to lose some of that movement skill. We're going to lose some of that coordination. And don't worry, it's going to come back when we get through these growth spurts and all that stuff. We're going to gain it back. But now I got to look at speed again, and I got to build stamina. A lot of kids, even at this age, as they start maturing, the ones who are on the farther end of the development stage, all young kids seem to be super flexible, right? You don't see many young kids who are tight, right? But at this age, you will see kids starting to get tightness. So we got to make sure we maintain our flexibility and mobility. We need to work on our speed and our power. Again, going back to those things. But maybe at this age, I'm going to start learning to do some ballistic movements with a weighted medicine ball. Maybe I'm going to start learning to do some Olympic weightlifting. And I'm going to do more structured speed and power type work. And, for all the parents out there listening, oh my God, you can't lift weights when you're a young kid. The research has debunked all that, right? I mean, that's just nonsense. Assuming that you're working with someone who's skilled and can teach your kid proper technique and doing it right, they're actually finding that the loads and the forces from weightlifting on the structural system is making kids stronger, better, more resistant to injury. And there's so much great information on this that it's really important to what they're doing. So, from here, I'm starting to get into a little bit more, I'll call it structured speed training, and at the same time trying to maintain my suppleness for some of the boys, particularly girls, usually not as bad, some of the boys going through puberty, and, finally building them up mentally while in the gym, because some kids will lose coordination and will feel awkward and feel goofy, right? A kid maybe who at the younger age was the most athletic kid and can do everything, all of a sudden he grows 6-7 inches in one pop, and all of a sudden his arms are longer and his legs, and just doesn't have the motor control to control these giant limbs. And so they work so hard on this skill part, both with you, Deb, doing your stuff and all of the games that Iain has them doing, and all of a sudden they feel like, oh my God, my body just got away from me. And part of our job is to kind of encourage them and create things in the gym that are going to help them get control of that, but really get them to understand that it's okay and that this is natural and that all the hard work that they did in the past is not gone. It's not wasted. It's not lost. And that when your body catches up to this growth spurt, you're going to be so much better off than you were going in. And now, because you're going to have all these skills that you've developed from 5 through this point to build on, and now all of a sudden you have this bigger, stronger, longer levered, bigger muscled body to actually use those skills and those techniques that you worked on. So it can be a great time.
With some of the kids in your program, let's let the listeners know, I'm not saying all the kids, but basically what would kids be squatting in your gym? Let's say, ones that have surpassed this awkward stage, just so parents understand it's okay to, if the body is ready.
How much weight would they be squatting? So again, we're talking about a semi-big age group here, 13 to 15.
I know. Let's go to the latter half.
Is a 15-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh, we have 15-year-old kids who are squatting, 250 pounds. Real weight. But we also have 15-year-old kids who are squatting in the bar.
Right.
Right. It really just depends on the kid, how much training. Again, we just talked about developmental age and chronological age. It also is important that we look at training age. And what I mean by training age is some kids have been in the gym, have been involved in a lot of sports, doing a lot of things all along, and so they have a higher training age. Some kids might walk into your gym and they're 15 years old, and they've never been involved in a real exercise program before, and they've never done any of this stuff before, and they don't necessarily have great body awareness. They don't have any of those things. So it's really important that we take those kids and say, wow, look, this kid might be 15, but he's a baby in his training age. Where I have another kid who's 15 who might have started in my program who was 5 and has been 10 years in the making to this point, and that kid might be squatting 250 pounds.
How much are your girls squatting?
Deadlifting, we have girls even same age group, deadlifting 200 pounds, 185 pounds. Again, the ones with high training ages.
No, I know, but I think it's important for just parents and everybody to understand this is not.
It's why we have 15-year-old girls driving the ball 265 yards.
Exactly.
I
just don't want people to be scared of it.
Yeah, no, they don't have to be scared of it. But again, I think the strength phase, and we'll get into that a little bit next, is really starts getting into the next phase for the boys. And I was going to say it here is the strength phase now is kicking in for the girls. The girls in this age need to start lifting weights. Right, in this kind of 13 to 15, because by nature the girls aren't as strong as the boys, and it's really important. So boys in this 13 to 15, a primary focus is on speed and maintaining that suppleness, and for the girls, they're doing speed and strength. Kind of more strength as they get towards the end, maybe speed a little bit younger for them, 11, 12, but really they're starting to getting stronger, lifting weights, and building from there.
Cool. Iain, with regards to what I talked about, is there stuff that you work on with regards to the pre-shot routine that maybe dovetails with what I said real quick before we go to the next break?
Yeah, for sure. Because of the way the show went, I didn't mention it, but I'll be working on pre-shot routine from the earliest of age. I think Muhammad Ali says it best when he says, the man with no imagination has no wings. And I think the golf industry is guilty of taking kids' imaginations away from them. So from that earliest age group, I will encourage imagination, encourage the use of imagery, encourage visualization. We often talk about killing the chimp or silencing the chimp. So with the younger kids, I pretend there's a chimp in the brain and we have to make the chimp be quiet. And then that process really just sticks all the way through. It's something they're always working on. We look at Jason Day, and we all know it's well documented that Jason Day uses the focus band. It didn't just happen overnight. It took him, I think, 4 years to establish this use of imagery and this visualization and seeing himself be able to hit the shot. And now he sticks to it religiously, and that's his comfort blanket against outcome pressures. So very get-go, I would always be starting to get students process-focused. But I agree, at this age group, you guys mentioned strategy. So definitely strategy plays a big part and comes into the pre-shot routine for sure. And the way I teach it, again, in a game-like setting, I'll take students onto the golf course with whiteboards, and I'll say, okay, I want you to draw 4 ways of getting the ball to the hole, and then I'll say, what was your third choice? Okay, you're going to hit that one. And it just starts to wire the habit, because the brain is very malleable at this age, and it starts to wire the habit of them actually thinking before every shot. Rather than just pulling a club and thinking, oh, it's 158 iron hit, they start to think, oh, the lie's here, the win's here, because they've done it all in training and they've drawn it down on whiteboards, and it's now become habit. And one of the young juniors that I've worked with, the very first kid I worked with from the age of 13, we did this. And I call him a strategic machine now. He saves so many shots. He's 19 now, and he can take it 7 deep. And he says all the time to everyone younger than him, it's because of his strategic awareness. So, yeah, the pre-shot routine and strategy would be something I would have worked on throughout.
Awesome.
All right, let's grab our next break, and then we come back. We're going to get into the 16 and ups.
Yeah.
Where we're getting serious here. So we'll be right back. This is the Golfer's Edge, SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio.
This is Michael Breed, and on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, we're talking golf all day, every day. Improve your game by listening to some of the best instructors in the world, like Hank Haney, David Ledbetter, and yours truly. We talk about what's happening on tour with former players and legends of the game, like Masters champions Ben Crenshaw and Larry Mize. And we have live play-by-play coverage of your favorite PGA Tour event. If you love the game of golf, check out PGA Tour Radio, Sirius 208, XM92, and on your smartphone on the new and improved SiriusXM app. You're made up of 2 different stories. There's the one you write every day with your own experiences, your dreams and ambitions, the places you go, the decisions you make. And there's the one you were born with, the one you inherited, the story written into your DNA, your 23 pairs of chromosomes. See, you're the product of millions of years of human experience. That's millions of genetic lifetimes and stories in your DNA, all of which are reflected in your traits, wellness, and ancestry, making those stories your story. Explore your story by ordering a simple in-home DNA kit online at 23andme.com. Find out detailed percentages of where your DNA comes from all around the world. You can also discover how your DNA affects your traits and how they're shared through your family. Everyone has a genetic story to discover. Find out more about yours by ordering your kit at 23andme.com today. Do you use a CPAP device for sleep apnea? Are you tired of dragging your bulky in-home device everywhere you travel? Then you need to know about Transcend, the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It lets you sleep in total comfort anywhere you go. And right now, you can try it risk-free for 10 days by calling 1-800-940-5738. Transcend from minicpap.com is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can sleep comfortably even while flying. Transcend is our smallest, lightest, and most portable mini CPAP design ever, offering all the performance of a bulky standard in-home device. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably. Call minicpap.com now for your 10-day in-home trial. 1-800-940-5738. Again, that's 1-800-940-5738. This April, the NFL welcomes the newest members to its family when the NFL Draft returns to Chicago on April 28th through the 30th. Tune in and join the celebration. Coverage begins with the first round on Thursday, April 28th, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on ESPN, NFL Network, and NFL Mobile. For all the latest news and information leading up to the 2016 NFL Draft, visit NFL.com/draft or NFL.com/Espanol. Skittles is an official sponsor of the 2016 NFL Draft. Skittles makes game day awesomer.
Hey everybody, this is Kenny Chesney. Close your eyes and transport yourself from wherever you are to the no-shoes state of mind all the time. I'm excited to announce my own channel, No Shoes Radio, is coming to SiriusXM. This is my life wrapped up in a radio station. Start Starting Tuesday, April 12th, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. On Channel 62 and on your phone with the SiriusXM app.
You've got a lifetime exemption to every tournament right here. SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. Sirius 208 and XM 92.
Welcome back to the Golfer's Edge. I'm Debbie Doniger with my co-host Ben Shear and Iain Highfield of the IJGA Academy in Bishopsgate. You can find him at ijga.com, bgga.com. You can email him also at osvea, O-S-V-E-A, performance at gmail.com. Iain is super amenable to getting emails. By the way, OSVEA, for those of you that don't know, actually stands for something, which actually I'll let Iain talk about it when it's appropriate. So we're in our last age group, the 16 to 18 age group. We've gone over every single age group with more detail. And so let's start with this 16 to 18. Important. We've got college, recruiting, tournament schedules. So Iain, let's go into what you would like to see in this age group or what you work on at your academies.
Yeah, I think you've hit it on the head there. They're at that intense phase of training. Maybe they're passing through it, but when they go to college, they're not going to get intense training. They're going to get their college coach saying, you need to shoot this score to qualify. If you don't, you're going to sit on the bench. So they're now going in. When they go to college, it's just the coach is only going to be giving them the guidance. So this latter part of this intense training phase for me has to really prepare them for college. So I would look at numerous things, but I've decided to pick two out to talk about, two that I'm passionate about. The first one would be goal setting. So at IJGA and at Bishopsgate, I'm going to do some goal setting work with the kids, and there's 130 kids, and 127 are going to tell me their goal is to win a major. Well, that's great, and we'll make vision boards, and we'll focus on the positives, We'll embrace that, but then I'll take it to the other side and I'll say, okay, I want you to set me 10 goals that you're going to achieve today. So it might be, I'm going to drink water, I'm going to smile and say hello to everyone, I'm going to self-record my practice, I'm going to do my practice on a stopwatch and take 10-minute breaks every 50 minutes. Whatever it may be, I ask them to set me 10 goals that they're going to do on a daily basis. And I call these mini goals or daily goals. And the amount of students that fail at this task is unbelievable. And it's 10 goals that are completely in their control. Now, if they can't achieve these 10 bite-sized goals, where's the drive and where's the commitment to go and win a major? It's not going to happen. So I really teach goal setting in a different way. I don't necessarily like the SMART goals of it being specific, of it being measurable, of it being achievable, because a lot of them are a month, 3 months, 5 months down the line. What are you doing today to get better? And Chick sent me high in his book, Flow. He really talks about this a lot and says people that get in flow state on a daily basis, successful people on a daily basis, set themselves goals and they tick goals off every single day and they feel like they've achieved or accomplished something every single day. So I really work hard on students with that to prepare them for college. And then secondly, on practice again, on how they're going to practice. So in the last age bracket, I talked about them separating practice. So understanding that making a motor pattern change is very different to performing on the golf course. I now take it one step further. And I try and help students to understand that they have to interleave their practice. If you want to learn and if you want to get better, you need to interleave your practice. So basically an example would be if a student's working on a swing, they might be making a swing change. So they might do this for 2 or 3 balls. They might make 2 or 3 shots at 30% speed. They might do some slow motion swings with their eyes closed. They may go on TrackMan, but once they've done that 3 or 4 times, they then have to go and get up and down, or they then have to hit 3 drivers, 1 fade, 1 draw, 1 straight, and then they go back to trying to make that technical change, because interleaving practice really, really helps you learn, really helps you make changes, because you're going to forget what it is that made you successful last time. So you make the change, you go and get up and down, or you hit your drivers, you come back, and now you've got to recall it again. So it really, really accelerates the learning process. So in this age bracket, I'm really trying to help the student become their own best coach, become accountable for daily goals, become accountable for their actions, become accountable for their practice, and just be that player and that person that every college coach desires, to have mastery in mind and to be really autonomous in the way that they work.
That's great.
I agree with that. Matthew Cook talks a lot about the interleaving stuff. I watched the other day. With my side, I agree. I like my students to be autonomous, self-sufficient. I'm definitely not, wasn't brought up with my teacher as a quote-unquote babysitter. And so I actually just adopted it as well. I don't do it that much. I maybe go to some tournaments where my kids are playing locally, but I really want these students to be able to be prepared for college, which means you've got to own your swing, know your tendencies, know why it's happening. Of course, you can go off the rails, totally get it, and you have to get into that technical phase as well. But I like plan B swings, and then just to...
What does that mean for people? People don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so a plan B swing, in other words, a plan B swing would be, let's say me personally, my stock shot is a draw. I go to a tournament, all of a sudden I'm fading it. Which is very hard to now have to go play a fade when my stock shot is a draw. But to have the mental ability to actually then go play with what you got, A, and B, if the fade turns into whatever, not a great solid shot, is to have a go-to swing, whatever that swing may be, or a go-to ball flight, where you know that you can count on that no matter what. So like maybe a three-quarter swing. Maybe you have to set up for a predetermined functional draw or something like that. Whatever that player needs to try and get back and stop the bleeding. And then for me, the short game has to be impeccable. So a lot of short game work.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think that shot that when you feel like things are going bad, that you know you can hit, whether it be a knockdown, three-quarter, or whatever it is you're going to do, that you can, under the gun, feel like even though you're not hitting it great, you can hit that good shot. It's huge for people. And if you have that and you believe that you have that, it's such a relief to have it.
For sure. I mean, courses are longer, they're tighter. College golf's a whole different animal. Yeah. And especially, actually, for you, now you're dealing with fitness.
Yeah,
people taking over the teams, possibly.
Right. So at 16, we're still in high school here. So, from my side, like Pat Goss said last week, like you have to hit it far if you want to play college golf. And most of the kids who are coming in serious about this are attempting to play college golf. And if you can't really move the ball out there, he basically said on the men's side.
Yeah, Iain, listen to this.
You're talking about PGA Tour numbers. Like if you can't drive it 285 plus to 300, don't even waste your time. You're not playing Division I college golf.
Yeah.
You're just not. And that, the farther you hit it, the more opportunities you're going to have, even aside from your golf scores. If you can pound it really far, he said, if you have speed and power, there are coaches who will take you.
And find you.
Yeah, he said, look, all this tournament stuff and all that stuff, he's like, that's all great. He's like, if you can play, don't worry, the top coaches will find you. You could be playing in your closet. They'll find you. It doesn't matter. And so, on my side, on the physical side, we obviously now need to, number one, things I really start thinking about is injury. Now you've been playing golf a long time. Most of these kids now at this level of trying to play college, they're hitting lots and lots of balls. They're playing a lot. They're practicing a lot. So we got to deal with injury prevention, right? And then we got to get strong. So we've done all of this stuff. This body awareness stuff. We've done movement skill stuff. We've done neurologic stuff for speed and all that kind of stuff. But now, and our body's gone through all these changes. Now I literally need to get strong. Right, I actually physiologically need to build muscle. I need to get stronger. I need to be able to withstand forces so my body doesn't get injured. Did a whole show or part of a show on power, and that power is basically strength times speed, or force times distance over time, that you got to have this combination of strength and speed. And speed, a lot, is neurologic, not physiologic. So we've talked about doing 2 speed phases up to this point already. Well, now I need to start getting strong. You know, certain kids are naturally strong. Other ones need more. Obviously, on the girl side, most girls do not have a ton of strength naturally, but can gain a ton of strength by getting in the gym, getting on a good exercise program, doing all the right things. So, you know, really here, I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing any speed work or any of that motor skill work. You always should continue to do that. But a big part of it means getting strong. And that's going to mean putting, you know, a couple days a week in the gym, getting on a very structured, serious weight training program. So, you know, it's a commitment away and time away from the course. I tell the kids who come to my program, like, hey, look, if you're in the spring and summer, let's just say, and you're practicing 25 hours a week, I go, 25 hours of playing golf and hitting balls will never be as good as 22 hours of hitting balls and 3 hours in the weight room. That combination will exponentially outperform the 25 hours of practice every time.
Okay, and just real quick, even though you and I have touched on it, just for the listeners out there, if a parent says, "Well, is it golf specific?" What's your? I know what the
look. The human body only functions one way, so I would say that 80% of what you do is good human function. Strong, powerful, mobile, stable, all of those things. And there's probably 20% that's going to get specific to the movement patterns and the things that you need to train. Oh, I need certain specific things for my golf. More separation, or I might need, you know, more side bend, or I might need, you know, whatever it is, certain specific movement skills that the coach is looking for that I'm going to try to help facilitate change with in the gym. So it's probably an 80-20 rule, general to specific.
Perfect.
All right, let's grab our last break here. And when we come back, since we've kind of gone through all the groups, I know you have a bunch of questions for Iain. While we have them, let's have at it with him.
Perfect. Love it.
We'll be right back. Sirius 208 XM 92.
SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio has the instruction you need to improve your golf game every day, including a new breed of golf with Michael Breed, Rinker's Golf Tips with Larry Rinker, and Ledbetter's Locker Room with David Ledbetter and Dennis Watson.
We know things now, and we all know the swings of flame. This is what the A-swing's all about, synchronizing your arms and your body.
Get the golf instruction you need every day of the week between 9 and 11 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, Sirius 208 and XM 92.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-971-5357. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-971-5357. Call 1-800-971-5357. 1-800-971-5357.
If you have termites invading your home, there's just one thing you want. You want them gone before they start causing thousands of dollars in damage. That's why you want to call Terminix, because Terminix is your most effective solution for termite protection. Call now and we'll give you a free termite inspection. 1-800-641-3253. Terminix is the nation's leading provider of termite and pest control services, backed by more than 85 years' experience. We'll stop those damaging invaders in their tracks. We can also defend your home against future invasions and the damage they may cause with our ultimate protection guarantee. If they come back, so will we. Defend your home now before termites start causing expensive damage with the effective choice in termite protection. It's your home, not theirs. Call Terminix today for a free termite inspection. 1-800-641-3253. That's 1-800-641-3253.
Ultimate protection guarantee not available on every plan. Limitations apply. Call for details.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-951-9523. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-951-9523. That's 1-800-951-9523. 1-800-951-9523.
This week, Year 10 of the FedEx Cup continues with Shell celebrating 25 years as title sponsor of the Houston Open. Houston means that I'm one day closer to you. Live play-by-play coverage on SiriusXM begins this Thursday through Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can always listen free on a computer or mobile device at pgatour.com/live audio or via the tour's iPhone, iPad, and Android apps.
Take us with you on your cart. Listen to SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio during your round on the new and improved SiriusXM app.
This is Debbie Doniger of the Golfer Girls, and you're listening to SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio on Sirius 208 and XM 92. Welcome back to the Golfer's Edge. I'm Debbie Doniger with my co-host Ben Shear and Iain Highfield. We're just going to wrap up our 2-hour show. We hope everybody got a ton out of it. I know we did. So, Iain, let's talk about some short game games, for lack of a better word, that you like to use. Putting, and if we have some time, maybe some pitching games as well.
Perfect. Yeah. So, a great one for putting. And the goal is to try and replicate pressure. Students tend to have it the wrong way around. They turn up to practice and they relax and they go through the motions. And then they get into a tournament and they feel pressure and they get scared. We want them to be scared and feel emotions in practice. And then when they go into the tournament, the job's already done and they're going to chill out and relax. So one of the great putting games that I use, and I used this on my first day at IJGA recently, and the kids loved it, is one called Don't Be That Guy. And you will split the kids into teams. So maybe you have 3 kids on the left side of the hole, 3 kids on the right side of the hole. Everyone's going to putt from 4 feet, 4.5 feet. If you miss the putt, you and your whole team run a lap of the putting green. In the meantime, the other side are going to hit their putt. If they hold, they're safe. By the time you've run round, you're all stressed. You're less likely to stick to your routine. You're less likely to focus. The physiology you're feeling in the body is representative pressure, and you have to putt. So there's more chance you're going to win. And if that next person misses, it's in the line, the whole team run again. And what we're trying to do, I have a little game going between Bishopsgate and IJGA, and they're trying as well, not only to not miss because the team will run, but they're trying to get the record between the 2 academies. So I think the best at the moment is 9 putts in a row, and that record belongs to IJGA. One of the teams hold 9 in a row without anyone missing and having to run. Does that make sense? Did I explain that well?
Yeah, let me ask you a few questions about that. So it's 4.5 feet. Do they putt from the same place, or is it?
Yeah, no. So there'll be a T-peg, 4.5 feet to the left of the hole, and then the other kids will be directly opposite on the other side for 4.5 feet. And then you'll go through the whole team once, and a group might win 3-2. And obviously then if it was 3-2, one team's not missed if there was 3 students on each side, and the other team's missed once. And then you might swap sides and play again, so they're hitting a slightly different putt, or change to a different hole to randomize it a bit more.
I like that.
All right. We got like 4 minutes left. I know you want to talk a little bit about the OSFIA and the keeping track of stuff like that. So let's kind of, maybe you can explain what that's all about.
Cool. So I'll give you another short game, and I'll try and tie it in. There's a short game that they play a lot at Bishopsgate called Lose or Gain. So there'll be 9 stations set up around the chipping green. And if you don't get up and down with that club, you lose it. So that really starts to if you've lost 2 or 3 clubs and they're all your wedges, you now have to start getting really innovative. So there's a bit of pressure in that game, because if you don't achieve the outcome you desire, you're going to lose your club. So often we would play that game and we would tie it in with scoring your process goals. So you might set 2 or 3 process goals. One might be to see a small landing spot on every shot. Another one could be to really feel the practice swing and see the ball land in that spot. And another one might be to walk with your chin up and chest out, so you can have good body language and fight adversity. And what we would ask the students to do while playing that game, they're losing their clubs or they're gaining their clubs back if they do get up and down. They actually are more accountable for their routine. They're more accountable for how they score, how well they stuck to their process. So I teach 5 components of a golf shot: options, selection, visualization, execution, and acceptance. And they would set process goals in and around these areas and become accountable and really start to develop a process-focused mentality while playing a performance game that teaches them to visualize, teaches them to deal with disappointment, etc.
That's awesome.
Love that.
So, look, we got 2 minutes here. Let's kind of just try to tie it all up and wrap it up in a bow. Is there any way to do it?
Oh, my gosh, dude.
Look, I think that the whole point is we could do these shows every week, right? Junior development and young kids, and we all have such a passion for not only people on our side working with them, but as parents, everybody wants the best for their kids. They want to help their kids. Sometimes we don't, even with the best intentions, we don't always know the right things to do. And really what we're trying to do here is share good information from the best people in the field and give the listener some insight into what and where and how they can go about it. So certainly, if you go online, things you can look up like long-term athletic development, or LTAD, would be a great thing for people to look up. Like we mentioned during the show, Carol Dweck, who's done the mindset stuff out of Stanford University. Go to the YouTube channel, the Osvia YouTube channel, watch a lot of these drills. That's Iain is putting out there. You're kind of, who's the kid you were saying does some cool stuff? The golf teacher who's doing some good stuff. Matt Cook.
Yeah, he's more random practice, for lack of a better way to say it, versus block practice. But more than that, but he's got some really cool stuff out there.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really smart people doing some great stuff right now, and we're studying and learning a lot of stuff. So I want to thank Iain for coming on the show. Iain, awesome stuff. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us all these great tips.
I'm still threatening to come and
thanks for having me on, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. And Deb, for us, I don't know, another week down. We get to go home early today on a Monday, go watch the bracket selection, enjoy the week. Next week I'm not here. I'm on vacation. We're going to do a show we did in the past. So you have a great week next week. Iain, thanks again. We'll catch you guys soon. This is Golfer's Edge, SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio.